Near-death experiences are some of the most compelling and mysterious events reported by individuals who have come close to death. These experiences are described by people who have been clinically dead or on the brink of death, only to return with vivid recollections of the event. Despite cultural and personal differences, NDEs share many common elements across the globe, suggesting that the experience is not just random, but a profound encounter with another dimension of reality. The study of NDEs gained widespread attention after the work of Dr. Raymond Moody, who popularized the term in his 1975 book, Life After Life. These experiences often transform individuals, their perspective of life, death, and spirituality. Whether they're considered mystical experiences, neurochemical phenomena, or glimpses of the afterlife, there's many similarities. The core elements of NDEs typically include out-of-body experiences, encounters with a bright light, the feeling of being transported through a tunnel, reunions with deceased loved ones or spiritual beings. Many NDEers describe a life review where they witness key moments of their lives and experience the emotional impact their actions had on others. Despite the often profound and sometimes disturbing nature of these encounters, the overwhelming majority of people who've experienced an NDE report a deep sense of peace and a complete absence of fear regarding death afterward. In a 2001 study by The Lancet, researchers found that about 18% of patients who survived cardiac arrest reported having an NDE. This was consistent across age, gender, and cultural backgrounds. And Dr. Kenneth Ring, a psychologist, developed a model of NDEs known as the core experience, which involves a series of stages like floating out of the body, moving through a tunnel, encountering a being of light, and the experiencing of a life review. Now, leaving the physical behind. One of the most common and striking features of an NDE is the out-of-body experience, or the OBE. This typically occurs moments after a person enters a near-death state, and they often report a vivid and detailed awareness of their surroundings, despite being clinically unconscious. They usually describe floating outside their body, usually just above it, and being able to observe medical staff working on them or the events unfolding around their physical form. They report a sense of detachment from their body, often observing it with curiosity rather than fear or panic. A common account is that the individual can see and hear what is happening in the room, sometimes from a vantage point near the ceiling. Many describe being able to hear conversations between medical professionals, and some even report recalling specific details of medical procedures being performed, details that were later verified by hospital staff. The out-of-body state is often accompanied by a feeling of complete freedom and weightlessness. This experience is often described as peaceful, even serene. There is a lack of attachment to the physical body, as if the individual realizes that their body is merely a vessel for their consciousness. Interestingly, many report being able to move instantaneously to different locations, simply by intending to be there, suggesting that time and space behave differently in this out-of-body state. In some cases, individuals describe floating outside the hospital room or house, observing events happening in different rooms or even miles away. So is consciousness confined to a brain, or does it have the ability to exist independently of the body? In a famous case from the 70s, a woman reported seeing a shoe on the ledge of a hospital window while having an NDE. When staff later checked, they found the shoe exactly where she described, despite her body being in a different part of the building and completely unconscious at the time. OBE research has been conducted in controlled settings, such as placing hidden objects in hospital rooms that only someone floating above the body would be able to see. After the out-of-body experience, many describe moving through a tunnel or a dark space, heading toward a brilliant light. This light is often described as radiant and warm, pulling the individual toward it with a sense of peace, acceptance, and love. tunnel is one of the most famously reported features of an NDE. This incredibly bright and loving light. The tunnel is usually described as a long, dark, or sometimes swirling passageway, with a light at its end that grows brighter as the person approaches. The movement through the tunnel is often described as effortless, some feeling drawn or pulled towards the light, rather than walking or flying themselves. As they move through the tunnel, NDEs often report a deep sense of peace, as if all their worries, pain, and fears are left behind in the physical world. The overwhelming sensation is one of love and safety, even though they are traveling through what would typically be considered a frightening or unknown space. This tunnel can also take on a timeless quality, where individuals feel as though they are outside the normal constraints of time. A few seconds can feel like an eternity, and yet eternity feels like a single moment. The light at the end of the tunnel is often described as blindingly bright, but not painful to look at. It's a conscious presence, a being of pure love, knowledge, and understanding. Often interpreted as God, an angel, or a divine entity, source, whatever people call it based on their religious background. The light usually communicates, not in words, but in thoughts or emotions, offering comfort, wisdom, and the feeling of being home. For many, this encounter with the light is the most profound aspect of their NDE. It often brings with it a sense of unconditional love that is beyond anything they have experienced in the physical world. Even people who were previously skeptical or non-religious often return with a renewed sense of spirituality, convinced that they have come into contact with the higher realm of existence. In a large-scale study of NDEs, nearly 90% of individuals who reported seeing the light described it as the most loving and accepting presence they had ever encountered, regardless of their prior religious beliefs. Dr. Eben Alexander, a neurosurgeon who once dismissed NDEs as mere hallucinations, had a profound NDE himself during a coma in 2008. He described moving through a dark space, then being enveloped in an indescribable light and love, which completely changed his views on consciousness in the afterlife. Then we have the life review. As they approach or merge with the light, many report undergoing a life review. This experience is often described as witnessing their entire life unfold before them in vivid detail, from birth to death. It's about witnessing your impact. The life review is a deeply transformative aspect. Many describe watching their life flash before them in incredible detail, as though every significant moment is replayed in front of them. But this isn't just a detached viewing. NDEers often describe it as reliving their life, feeling the emotions they experienced in each moment, as well as the emotions of those they interacted with. This empathic connection during the life review is another profound aspect. Many report that they not only see their actions, but feel the emotional impact their actions had on others. This includes the positive effects, like how a kind word or act of compassion uplifted someone, as well as the negative effects, like how hurtful words or actions caused pain. This experience is often described as one of deep insight and learning. It isn't judgmental, but it forces the individual to confront the consequences of their life choices. During the life review, many report the presence of a guiding being, often described as a wise figure or a guardian angel. This being doesn't pass judgment, but helps the person understand their life in the context of growth, learning, and love. The review is often seen as an opportunity to reflect on what they have learned during their time on Earth, and what they still need to understand or change. Interestingly, NDEers often report that the smallest, seemingly insignificant actions, the kindnesses or cruelties shown in everyday life, take on immense significance during the review. Many return from their NDE with a renewed focus on kindness, compassion, and living with love. Some report experiencing their life review in a completely non-linear way, seeing and feeling multiple events from their life simultaneously, again challenging our understanding of time. The concept of a life review mirrors ancient teachings like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, where souls are said to review their past lives to understand their karma and prepare for rebirth. And then there's the decision to return. After the life review, many describe reaching a threshold, a point of no return where they are given a choice to either continue into the light or return to their earthly life. This decision is often fraught with emotion. Most think they're home. At some point in the NDE, most report encountering a boundary or threshold. This might be a literal barrier, such as a river, a door, or a gate. Or it could be the light closing in. Or it could be darkness closing in. An abstract sense that they have reached the point of no return. On the other side of this boundary is often the sense of finality, that crossing it would mean entering the afterlife and not being able to return to the physical world. So many NDEers describe being given a choice to return or not. Some describe feeling the pull to stay, especially if they have seen loved ones that have passed away. However, others describe a feeling of unfinished business, that they still have work to do here, that there's still people that rely on them, or that their purpose has not yet been fulfilled. So they're told by the light it is not their time, and they are sent back, reluctantly, to their body. This moment of return is often described as abrupt and jarring, being slammed back into your body, being pulled back into their body, often awaking to intense pain or confusion as their physical senses are suddenly re-engaged. Despite the discomfort of returning to their body, most describe a profound sense of peace and understanding about life and death. Many are no longer afraid of death, convinced that they have glimpsed what lies beyond. Others return with a new sense of purpose, determined to live their lives with more love, compassion, and gratitude. NDE researchers have found that the majority of those who experience NDEs report significant positive changes in their lives afterwards. Increased empathy, reduced fear of death, and a stronger sense of spirituality, regardless of religious affiliation. While the specifics of NDEs can vary, the common themes of love, peace, and a deep connection to a higher reality run through nearly every account. Those who experience NDEs return profoundly changed, with a new understanding of life's purpose and the importance of living with love. Whether these experiences represent a true glimpse of the afterlife, or an extraordinary event triggered by the brain in moments of crisis, the transformative power of NDEs is undeniable. They remind us that life, death, and consciousness are far more complex and mysterious than we can fully comprehend. Hey, it's Joe with Humanfluence. I'm excited to introduce to you my new book, Solutions. This book explores who we truly are, eternal souls on a human journey, and offers insights to help you navigate life's challenges. Inside, I dive into ancient philosophies, world religions, and spiritual traditions that have shaped belief systems today, from Hermeticism to esoteric teachings and beyond. You'll learn about the role of synchronicities, intuition, and dreams, and how these universal experiences can guide your spiritual path. Solutions also explores the deeper metaphysical principles, such as the collective unconscious and the laws of the universe, which impact our lives in profound ways. To help you on your path, I've included practical psychic exercises to hone your intuition, deepen your connection to the unseen world, and awaken your psychic abilities. Whether you're looking to break free from limiting beliefs, transform your life or simply understand the bigger picture? Solutions. Transforming your life through esoteric wisdom. Grab your copy on Amazon today. There's a link in my description and I'll leave one in the comments. Humanfluence out.